Good afternoon. Welcome to Eye on Sheridan. I'm Gabby Mendoza.
And I'm Ryan Rossell. On today's show, a Manitoba fire has claimed the lives of 4 children. A verdict has been reached in the American sniper murder trial, and today marks NASA's second spacewalk. But first, a strike that could affect thousands of students is looming for non-tenured teachers at Canada's 2 largest universities. U of T staff and other employees could walk off the job as early as tomorrow, while York employees could strike next week. The Canadian Union of Public Employees says up to 10,000 could walk off the job. According to CUPE, non-tenured teachers providing 60% of undergraduate instruction at the 2 schools, but only account for 3.5% of their overall budgets.
Police believe there could be more victims after a Thornhill man was charged with multiple counts of sexual assault, criminal harassment, and indecent acts. Henry Kang, 36, was taken into custody Monday after an incident in the Yonge Street and Shepherd Avenue area on Friday. He appeared in court earlier today, and investigators are asking any other victims to come forward. Also facing sexual assault charges is 54-year-old Barry ski instructor Jeffrey Green. A complaint was made against Green by a boy at the Heights Ski and Country Club in Oro-Medonte. Police were told the assaults took place between December 2014 and February 2015 at the private ski resort. Green is charged with sexual interference and sexual assault on a person under 16 years old. He appeared in court today.
A Winnipeg man who pleaded guilty to possessing and distributing child pornography has been sentenced to 18 months in jail. Luke Newman was arrested in July of 2012 after the National Child Exploitation Center in Ottawa was tipped off about illegal images of children being uploaded from a Winnipeg IP address to a file-sharing service. The fire chief in southern Manitoba rural municipality says 4 children have died in a house fire. Mounties say 3 surviving children are with neighbors, while the parents have been taken to hospital. The farmhouse was already in flames by the time volunteer crews got to the scene, and the firefighters couldn't get into the house because the flames were too hot and there was too much smoke.
The family of a 20-year-old Brampton man who committed suicide in hospital last summer has launched a $12.5 million lawsuit against the William Osler Health Center. Prashant Tiwari was admitted to the psychiatric ward on June 16th of last year, but only 10 days later he was found dead in a hospital bathroom despite being on suicide watch. Tiwari hung himself with a bathrobe using a chair that has been left in the room. A court appearance today for 2 18-year-old boys from Brampton and Caledon facing 145 charges each, including possession of dangerous weapon. The pair is accused of using a weapon similar to a BB gun to inflict massive amounts of damages to houses, schools, cars, and bus shelters in the Peel area last month. Police estimate the cost of the vandalism spree to be in the thousands.
Toronto police say Rabi Al-Khalil has been extradited from Greece back to Canada to face charges for a fatal shooting in Little Italy. Al-Khalil is facing a first-degree murder charge in the shooting of 35-year-old John Rapiso. Rapiso was fatally shot at a Sicilian ice cream shop on June 18, 2012, during a Euro Cup game. The trial for Tim Bosma's accused killers is being pushed back to early 2016. 32-year-old Ancaster man disappeared in June of 2012 after taking 2 strangers on a test drive in the truck he was selling. Mark Smitch and Dylan Millard are being charged with first-degree murder. The only information the judge has released about the delay is that an important and controversial issue is being discussed.
Halton police are describing the results of the recent traffic crackdown on Dundas Street in Oakville as shocking. Almost half of the 39 tickets handed out were to motorists traveling over 100 kilometers an hour, despite a posted limit of 60. 2 drivers were even charged with stunt driving and had their vehicles towed. The crackdown came in a response to a February 1st complaint to the online reporting program Roadwatch.
It's no secrets. Cell phones can distract drivers. So why do so many people still talk and text behind the wheel? Michael Apiakubi is live with that story. Michael?
Within the past few years, the number of distracted drivers has increased, despite high fines and deadly crashes. Many drivers commonly find themselves taking a moment to check a text or an email, but in doing so, they earn a higher risk of getting into an accident.
Driving takes a lot of attention, a lot of focus, and if you take focus away from that, then you're causing a serious and potentially hazardous, life-threatening condition.
According to the CAA, if you are texting and driving, you're 23 times more likely to get into a car accident. Talking on the cell, 4 to 5 times, and while dialing on your phone, you're 3 times more likely.
Would you stand or have your loved one stand in front of your car while you text and drive? Would you? I don't think anyone would have their loved one stand in front of their car while they drove toward them while they were texting.
I think it's dangerous for those driving and pedestrians also. I think everybody needs to pay attention when they're driving. Like you see so many car accidents daily, and it's just people not paying attention.
There's a lot of people that die, and it'd be best to stay off the roads if you're distracted.
There are many different ways to be distracted while driving, such as reaching for a moving object, eating, and applying makeup. The solution for some is very simple.
Stop. Just put your phone down, wait, pull over. I mean, not that important. Is it really that important to have to text while driving?
If you're caught by the police by any chance seeing you distracted and driving, you have the risk of losing up to 6 demerit points, suspended license, up to $2,000 in fines, and possible jail time. So think again, Sheridan students, before you drive and text. Live in the Chicago campus, I'm Michael Piakubi.
The outgoing head of Ontario's Human Rights Commission says the province has made progress in tackling the ongoing issue of discrimination. Barbara Hall says the transgendered have benefited from commission work during her tenure. Hall is set to leave the Human Rights Commission after 10 years at the end of the week. Another effort to stop discrimination is Pink Shirt Day. Back in 2007, a Nova Scotia high school student was the target of homophobic insults for wearing a pink shirt to school. 2 students then convinced their classmates to wear pink in solidarity, resulting in Pink Shirt Day. Today, students across the country are encouraged to wear pink to show that we can all work together to prevent bullying.
A new poll suggests 3 in 4 Canadian adults were bullied in school, and nearly half say their children have been bullied as well. In an online survey conducted by the Angus Reid Institute, 1,500 adults were asked about their experiences with bullying and how serious the issue really is. 75% of respondents said they were bullied at some point during elementary school or high school. 22% of them said it occurred once or twice, and 29% of them said it occurred a few times. 24% said the bullying occurred often, continuously, or regularly, and 19% of the correspondents said that their bullying events had a serious and a lasting impact. Hamilton's annual Soup Fest draws thousands of people to taste their finest soups local restaurants have to offer. But there's more to it than just that. On Sheridan's Chris Dobigan has the story.
Oh, you may.
Soup's on at Hamilton's 13th annual Soup Fest. But there's another story behind the event. All proceeds go to Living Rock Ministries, a local organization that helps at-risk youth in Hamilton. Karen Craig is the program director at Living Rock. She says Soup Fest has helped sustain the 29-year-old organization.
Well, we've seen it raise in the last 13 years over 500,000. Our goal this year would be to raise 100,000, so it has a huge impact on the Living Rock and our program.
Living Rock Ministries opens its doors to over 20,000 area youth each year. It offers work and education programs aimed to help young adults struggling with poverty, drug addiction, and mental illness. The youth who go through the program are grateful for the opportunity.
If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't know which way to turn. Now I've got a career path in mind and I know which way I'm going, and that's working alongside Youth at Risk.
A 2011 report by the Social Planning and Research Council of Hamilton estimates that about 14,000 of Hamilton's youth live in a state of poverty. Living Rock provides these kids with the opportunity to find work through the organization.
These guys work to earn, so they earn incentives. So it helps them to meet some of their basic needs, so to get food cards and to get things that they need, as well as it helps them save face with their friends.
Since Living Rock is a nonprofit organization, the success of Soup Fest is key in helping proceeds. For on Sheridan, I'm Chris Dobigan.
Now let's take an early look at your sports news.
Pierce, what do you have for us?
Coming up in sports, we look at ways to beat your winter blahs and soccer from both sides of the pond. Let's take a look at what's happening in entertainment. Sasha?
Hey Pierce, coming up in entertainment, Chris Brown fans all over Canada are disappointed, and Lady Gaga is joining American Horror Story. We have all the details. Now over to Elizabeth with an early look at weather. How is it out there, Elizabeth? Can you tell them that I
American sniper Chris Kyle and friend Chad Littlefield. Stay tuned.
What the hell is going on? Welcome back. Microsoft founder and billionaire Bill Gates will be meeting with Prime Minister Harper today to discuss collaboration between the government and his foundation. Taking part in moderated discussion on maternal, child, and newborn health, the leaders will be focusing on possible partnerships with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. One of the main topics of discussion is the priority of vaccination for children. Prime Minister Harper also announced a new formed support to the polio eradication initiative and funding partnership with UNICEF Canada.
Conservative MP Michael Chong is one step closer to having his Reform Act passed in the House of Commons. The bill would give any MP the authority to request leadership reviews, suspend or reinstate caucus colleagues, and select their own caucus. The bill is currently undergoing its third and final reading vote.
CBC is reporting that a Canadian woman has left her family in shock after leaving to join ISIS. 23-year-old, who is being referred to as Aisha to protect her identity, left Canada last summer to join the terrorist organization. She was recruited after taking an online class to learn about the Quran.
ISIS has abducted at least 150 Christians from villages in northeastern Syria and is threatening to kill them. The terrorists posted photos and videos online of the group's fighters in camouflage attire, looking at the maps and firing their guns. Some 35 Assyrian villages and towns have now been taken over by ISIS, forcing thousands of families to flee. Some 600 of these families have been taking refuge in St. Mary's Cathedral in Al-Hasaka, Syria. In the last 4 years, over 200,000 people have been forced to evacuate their homes during these events. British Prime Minister David Cameron says British military personnel are to be sent to Ukraine in the next few weeks to provide help. Pro-Russia rebels say they will pull back from the front line in eastern Ukraine as part of the ceasefire. Cameron says he will push for more sanction on Russia if the separatists fail to acknowledge the truth. The British Prime Minister says that up to 75 British soldiers will go to an area far away from the conflict zone to provide medical, logistic, intelligence, and infantry skills.
A deadly avalanche hit the northeastern Panjshir Valley in Afghanistan today, burying more than 60 homes. Most victims were in the Panjshir province north of Kabul, where 2 days of snowfall already killed around 90 people. Officials can't confirm the exact death toll, which is expected to rise again. And an investigation by the United Nations has revealed widespread torture in Afghan jails. The report found that over a third of the 800 suspected Taliban members were tortured or mistreated while being held captive. The UN acknowledged that the Afghanistan government is making progress towards treating prisoners better, but insists more work needs to be done.
A verdict has been handed down in the American Sniper trial, and the family of Chad Littlefield is pleased with the result.
We've waited 2 years for God to get justice for us on behalf of our son.
Eddie Ray Ruth was found guilty of capital murder and received an automatic life sentence with no chance of parole in 2013 deaths of American sniper Chris Kyle and his friend Chad Littlefield. Ruth, a former U.S. Marine suffering from PTSD, killed the two men at the shooting range in Texas.
A Canadian was arrested earlier this afternoon following the drowning of 4-year-old Terrell Joshua Ellebox in St. Lucia. Terrell drowned on Sunday. His body was found on Coconut Bay Beach in Vieux Fort today. Not many details have been released, and there's no words on charges. And medical marijuana could become a reality in Missouri. A state representative introduced a measure that would allow Missouri residents the opportunity to use marijuana for medical purposes only. TV show host Montel Williams testified for the bill, saying marijuana is the only thing that helps his pain related to multiple sclerosis.
American director Roman Polanski was in court today for an extradition hearing. The hearing was related to his 1977 guilty plea of having unlawful sex with a minor. He served 42 days of a 90-day plea bargain before fleeing the United States the following year. If the court rules in favor of extradition, it will be passed on to the Justice Minister, who will make the final decision.
Apple has been ordered to pay almost $533 million in patent infringement case. A federal jury is ordering Apple to pay damages to Smart Flash, a patent licensing firm.